Yes, ma'am.
On Bob Mueller and Rosenstein,
Yeah.
if President Trump makes moves to fire either of them, would that be grounds for impeachment?
Well, I think it would be a constitutional crisis, but let's hope that he does not. It's the three things that could happen. The president could let the investigation proceed, which Republicans in the Senate, at least, are encouraging him to do. We haven't seen too much of that in the House. Secondly, he could fire Mueller, or third, Rosenstein. I think they are synonymous. They are the same thing. The firing of Rosenstein should be viewed by the public as the curtailing of the investigation, effectively firing Mueller to do the job he's there to do. It would be a constitutional question. Right now, well, as you probably are aware, since Christmas we have been prepared for the president taking such an action, hoping that he would not, but prepared if he did. And we have hundreds of legal authorities, experts, judges, U.S. attorneys, academic experts on the subject of our Constitution standing ready to speak out should the president do that. As you may know, 800 events are planned around the country by some of the outside groups should the president do that. But let's hope that that gives us some leverage to say to the president, you might want to think once, hopefully twice, about doing this. But it would be a constitutional crisis, and we take it one step at a time. First, we don't want him to do it. Then we have the bill that I mentioned, the Nadler in the House, Grassley, maybe Feinstein in the Senate if they work out their legislation, that says three things. One, that it restates the status of the special counsel. The special counsel cannot be fired without cause. If the special counsel is fired, he or she, this is as we go forward, he or she would have the 10 days of judicial review for judges to review what that cause was and if it was just. And then third, the preservation of the documents. If they went down this path, we want a preservation of all of the documents that Mueller has. Hopefully, the Senate, I believe they had bipartisanship in the Senate. We have a similar bill in the House. If it happens that he would fire Rosenstein, for example, which seems there's a flirtation with it, if not a reality today, then I think it would be important for whoever takes his place to, and who would have say over the investigation, to be someone who is confirmed by the Senate of the United States. So it's just not a lackey that the president puts in there to stop the investigation. But both, if they are synonymous, it is a constitutional crisis, either one.
Will we see your party do anything specifically when and if that happens?
Well, we are taking it first of all, for the good of our country. We don't want the president to do this. So our focus now is to make sure he understands the kind of opposition, not political, but the validation that would come from the establishment and the American people. When I say establishment, I mean legal scholars, judges, U.S. attorneys, former attorneys general, both nationally and in states. Just an overwhelming response that this is not honoring the Constitution of the United States. So we'll take it one step at a time. Yes, ma'am.
On the Senate side, we're seeing Republicans are more interested in supporting bills to protect Mueller. Are you seeing anything from House Republicans that they're more interested, especially with the news that Speaker Ryan is retiring this year?
Well, when we did, and I think I shared this with some of you before, but forgive me if I was a different group. When we were doing the omnibus bill, we proposed to the Speaker and to Leader McConnell that we put in it provisions that I just described about the independence of the counsel and special counsel and how they cannot be fired, he or she cannot be fired without just cause, that there be judicial review of that firing, and then third, the preservation of the documents. They rejected that. They just said this isn't a big deal, and this is really what the decent thing to do is. They rejected that, but their impression that they attempted to give us is that we understand how serious this is. But I haven't seen too much on the House side. We had one Republican that we were hoping would be a sponsor of the Nadler bill, and then one thing and another is not. So hopefully there'll be others, though, who will speak out. And the American people have to speak out. This is about each person in our country. This president is saying to anybody who might have any encounter with the law, I'm better than you are. I'm above the law. You are not. That's just wrong. Yes, sir.
On the subject of Speaker Ryan's retirement, I'm going to ask you to read the tea leaves. Do you think it, suggests anything or reveals anything about what's going to happen this November? Do you think the Republicans are worried about holding on to their majority in the House?
Yeah, they should be. But I hope they're resting and not thinking about it that much, as we fully intend. We understand the challenge that is out there, the urgency, and the American people understand the urgency of winning this election. They're willing to take responsibility to do it in record numbers in terms of mobilizations and marches and the rest, and the courage to run for office. Women have marched and now they're running, and so the mobilization, the volunteerism, the candidates willing to run, we feel very confident. When a president is below 50% 1 year before the election, that means he gets the retirements, we get the A team. That this president 1 year before the election was under 40 really means it's going to be a very good year for us. But we put one good day in front of another, one good week in front of another, and just so you know, it's 28 Tuesdays until the election.
Madam Leader.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Leader, thank you. I wondered how Speaker Ryan's retirement affects Democrats' strategy as you look to the campaign. Do you think it will affect fundraising or messaging at all?
No. No, I mean, we have our plan. We have a great chairman, Ben Ray Lujan, Congressman Ben Ray, our chairman from New Mexico. He has a plan. And from the start, he has guided us. We have a vision of victory. We have a vision. We have a plan. We intend to win. A vision without a plan is a fantasy. A vision with a plan is a victory. And we have the 3 M's, which hold up the platform. The 3 M's: message, mobilization, money. The platform is the management of it all, on which our candidates will step, and we're very, very proud of all of our candidates as they go forward. So we're not watching their game, we're watching our game, and we believe that our candidates have their own purpose. Each one of them has their why. Why are they running? And universally, they are running to make the future better for their constituents. And their purpose, their authenticity, their connection to their own constituents is what this is about. It's about the future. It's not about the internal workings of the Republican caucus. Yes, ma'am.
Madam Leader, you discussed a little bit about preparations you're doing. What groundwork are you laying for in the event that you do take back the House of Representatives to use the power of this body to hold the president accountable?
Well, our first responsibility when we take back the House will be what it was when we took back the House in 2006, and that is to make the future better for the American people. That is our purpose. Our better deal, better jobs, better pay, better future is our theme and our purpose. So that is what our focus is. That's what the election is about, the future. There are 28 Tuesdays between now and the election, much less January.
A lot of your voters are demanding that you check the president. I mean, the base of the Democratic Party is... Well,
the base is, but in the districts where we are running, there's concern. We have a responsibility to protect. We take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution, and that is our responsibility, and we honor it. But the election is about the future, and that is what our agenda will be about. The fact that Congress, the House at least, and hopefully the Senate will be in the hands of the Democrats, be a check on the president, his behavior and his attitude and his disrespect for the Constitution. Hopefully so. But our purpose in winning is about the financial stability of America's working families. And that's it. Thank you.
On Syria, will you answer on Syria whether they need U.S. Do they need to
Our
come?
members believe, as do I, that we need a new AUMF.
Right, well, that's what I wanted to ask you, please.
We had a meeting yesterday on some of these subjects, and of course the president says, maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'll let you know in 24 hours, 48 hours. Let me take offense at the president having our distinguished stars and stripes around the table, our leaders of our military around the table, and he took the occasion to use most of the time with the press to talk about what happened with his lawyer. I mean, really, this is the oath we take to protect and defend, our first responsibility. Now, up to a certain point, as what he did last year was proportionate. They went in the spring, they made a hit on a Russian facility, it was proportional. It's anything beyond that, he will need a new authorization for the use of military force. President Obama sent one over. You know, an AUMF has 3 features. One is how long it will last. Secondly, what geography it will cover. And third, in no particular order, the scope. Is it boots on the ground? What is the scope of the AUMF? President Obama sent that over. The Republicans rejected it. However, that's what we need to do now. If the president intends to do anything more than the proportionate, discrete strike on a facility for a particular purpose in a limited amount of time. So that is a discussion that has been going on in our caucus for a while. And in fact, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, who's been our champion on this issue, won that point in the Appropriations Committee. And just in the most strange way, the Republicans just took an eraser and erased it out of the bill. They didn't bring it up with anybody. They didn't make a suggestion that perhaps they wanted to do something else. They just erased it. It was appalling. I haven't seen anything like that. But they're afraid of that. And so we'll have to have that discussion. Yes. Thank you.
Dr. Connor Lamb.
Do you think he's backtracking on whether